Honey, are you all right?
I don't feel so well. Something is not right. Call an ambulance, please. This is the last thing I remember from that night. And I didn't know it back then, but a toenail fungus was the culprit behind my near-death experience. Never in a million years would I have thought that this seemingly superficial condition would prove to be so dangerous and damaging that I'd have to fear for my own life because of it. But even though this was by far the most traumatizing event of my life, I will be forever grateful for it. I know it may sound insane, but please listen to what I'm about to say next. Because this was the first step of my incredible journey, at the end of which I discovered an African tribe's incredible and well-kept secret for destroying any fungal infection in a matter of weeks, and why the entire medical community is in utter shock because of it, especially considering the fact that the people who invented this breakthrough ritual have never seen, touched, let alone used fancy creams, antifungal drugs, or even common everyday soap their entire lives. This just goes to show how simple it actually is to get rid of any contagious fungal infection fast and natural, without any dangerous side effects. This African solution is as cheap as it is simple and efficient, and no matter how yellow, itchy, or smelly your toes are right now, it is guaranteed to easily flush away all the fungus in your body. This sacred African ritual, which has been thoroughly studied and its beneficial effects have been confirmed by over a dozen independent sources, such as the Journal of European Academy of Dermatology or National Center for Biotechnology Information. No more thick, brittle, crumbly, or rotten nails. No more ugly and painful skin rashes. No more shamefully hiding your feet or having that feeling of embarrassment when your spouse sees or smells what's hiding inside your socks. No more useless creams or expensive drugs that cause massive damage to your overall health. Just 100% clean, healthy, strong, smooth nails and feet that you can always be proud of. All these with a simple morning habit that costs nothing more than just a couple of pennies a day. It was only when I started using it too, I was finally successful in erasing any trace of toxic fungus from my body, and it happened in mere weeks. After months of surgeries, laser treatments, and expensive medication, I managed to regain my health, comfort, and most importantly, my dignity back. All this while my toenails went from this to this. My nails got stronger, brighter, and restored their healthy pinky color while I rid myself of the shame and humiliation of thick, dark, infected toenails. Look, I know you take good care of your health and have tried tons of products that promised you the moon. But if you are here, it means that you still need some help with that nasty fungal infection. But worry not, because in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to explain the reason why your body is overwhelmed by what some doctors call a common condition. And no, this is not an autoimmune disease. It is just your body desperately trying to send you emergency signals while your toenails are just collateral damage. I now know that the big pharma conglomerates have lied about the real cause of fungal infections with their bad smell and excessive itching. Recent undeniable evidence finally shows that it has nothing to do with how good your hygiene is, and even less to do with what shoes you wear. The real culprit behind this is actually a specific type of poison found in our foods that's silently corroding your internal organs, allowing these toxic fungi to spread all throughout your body while rotting away your nails, skin, and even scalp. And even though your family doctor will recommend you pay a small fortune for laser treatments or drugs filled with side effects, deep inside, they too know the truth. That in the long run, these are powerless against the abilities of the fungus spongy, which is able to multiply by the thousands every single day inside your bloodstream. From there, they make their way to your vital organs, lungs, spleen, liver, and even your brain, where they ultimately leave trails of poison that spread throughout your whole body. But from the moment you discover what this poison is made of, not only will you hold the absolute power of rebuilding your toenails and scratchy skin, but also put an end to psoriasis, jock itch, ringworm, and dandruff, and fully rejuvenate your blood, brain, and organs one by one, and shield yourself against the deadly fungus once and for all. You will also rid yourself of the humiliation of constantly having to hide your feet in front of your spouse, while 100% cleaning up your fungal infection from the inside of your very being to the outside of your skin and nails. No matter if you are 18 or 80 years old, no matter how long you've been trying to trim those terribly thick toenails, and no matter what your medical condition is, this solution is going to make you forget about the life-wrecking fungus once and for all. Are your toenails discolored, thick, or crumbly? Do you suffer from rashy, brittle skin on your heels, elbows, and knees? Is your scalp itchy and prone to dandruff all the time? Not anymore. Are you feeling constant pain in your feet and can't afford to take those thick, heavy shoes off even in the middle of summer because you are too afraid to scare people away with the bad smell? This amazing natural solution from a remote African village will help you stop all of that in a matter of weeks. No more insufferable pain and horrible smell. No more taking life-threatening risks with expensive treatments or ineffective drugs that leave you stuck with the same never-ending infection. Imagine never having to feel that shame and embarrassment when you lie in bed next to your spouse and he or she moves to the other side of the bed in disgust at the mere thought you could touch him or her with your broken nails. Never having to see your family members taking their slippers to their room to make sure you don't wear and infect them, or leaving the couch instantly when you show up in the living room. Instead, never give a second thought to those open-toe shoes or being able to enter any pool without having anyone to look at you with contempt. And most importantly, never again leave that pool with the fear caused by that nasty yeast spreading throughout your body like wildfire, leaving you with permanent damage to your vital organs. Wear sandals, go barefoot, and hug your dear ones with confidence like you never had in a long time. And see how stunning it feels to never have to worry again about painful fungi taking over your body. Join the other 188,600 people whose lives have made a 180-degree turn and were able to restore their pink, beautiful toenails and eliminate any trace of fungus out of their system. People like Patricia C., 57, from Alabama, Texas, who told us, "Before I tell you my story, I just want to make one thing clear. I was skeptical in the beginning. But that all changed when I first tried this system. The results were absolutely staggering. I literally went from having decaying yellow toenails that smelled awful to the point where I got compliments for my feet. I am so proud of my super baby feet now that I've been athlete's foot and nail fungus free for almost 2 years, and all happened in a matter of weeks once I tried this. Thank you from the bottom of my heart." Or Cynthia H., 45, from Tennessee. "I had already tried pretty much every other solution available on the market, but to no use. None of the doctors I've been to managed to give me a real solution. Only scripts to fill my bathroom cabinet with useless treatments and empty my wallet. To be honest, I was pretty desperate. Not even in my wildest dreams did I imagine that such a dirt-cheap solution would be the one that would save me from the thousands of dollars I would have eventually spent on that scary laser treatment surgery. Needless to say, I am as impressed as I am thankful for this discovery. It turned my life around. I will forever be grateful for giving me back my freedom to wear sandals and never again hide from my kids and husband." Walter J., 67, from Chicago, told us this, "I was at a very low point in my life. My marriage was falling apart, my grandkids were avoiding me, and all because of my horrendous rotten toenails. And it wasn't even my fault. I really don't blame myself. I tried everything to make it go away. I even did 3 months of Lamisil, which left me with abnormal liver function tests. I searched everywhere for something that could help me, and when I stumbled across your formula, I could not believe my eyes. It sounded too good and cheap, too, to be true. But the results made me tear up. In a month, toxic fungus was no longer a problem for me. I was finally able to sleep in the same bed with my wife, wear slippers to the beach, and most of all, play football with my grandson in the backyard barefoot, without fearing I will pass him the infection. Thank you for giving me the tools to regain my happiness once again." These are just a few of the countless messages I received from people whose lives have been changed by this amazing discovery. Now, before I go into details, I want to tell you a little bit about myself and about how my discovery sent the medical world in utter shock and saved thousands of honest Americans the money and pain of going through laser treatments, or even worse, sadistic and torturous medical procedures. My name is Mark Thompson. I'm a 51-year-old environmental technician from a small town in Missouri. I was born and raised at a small farm in the countryside by my parents and grandparents, who instilled in me a love for nature at a very young age. I used to enjoy the rural way of life and its amazing benefits. I believe many folks that now live in the major cities have forgot or didn't get to know the real beauty and the healing powers of nature. This actually played a major role in why I became an environmental technician in the first place. I was amazed by how complex and at the same time by how interesting the reactions between simple elements found in nature were. I would say that for the most part, I had a simple, quiet life. I married my beautiful wife and lifelong friend Heidi when we were 27, and since then we have had 3 beautiful children, Paul, Elizabeth, and Daniel. We never considered moving into the city, at least not until I received an offer to teach at a prestigious environmental institute in California. So we took our kids and moved to the big city. At that point, I did not know that this would be the most dreadful, yet also the most incredible experience of my life. Now, before I go further on with my story, you should know that my entire life, I had the strongest nails and the shiniest skin. As you can imagine, living at the farm, we would constantly get wet, stuck in mud, and even fertilized fields for hours at a time, and yet that did not affect my nails or skin a bit. In fact, my wife would often compliment me for my skin, nails, and hair, and sometimes even get frustrated that she wasn't able to obtain feet that soft, even with tons of moisturizers and other treatments. My overall health was always steel strong, and I was very proud of it. Of course, like any other person, I still got my regular checkups, but every time my test results came in, my doctor would tell me that I was the healthiest person that had ever stepped into his office. But all of that changed shortly after we moved to the big city. It all started so simple. One day I noticed a slight discoloration to my big toenail a few days after trimming my nails, but I was so sure it would go away, I didn't even bother to think about it. The skin on my feet felt a little dry and itchy, and sometimes even hurt when I put my shoes on, but it still was barely noticeable, so I blamed it on the tight shoelaces. As I said, I did not pay too much attention to that. I just went on with my life, thinking that it was going to go away by itself sooner rather than later. Boy, oh boy, was I wrong. In just a matter of weeks, the discoloration turned into a yellow-greenish tone that made my nail look like it was rotten. The dry skin turned into a widespread eruption of itchy rashes, and the pain I felt every time I touched it couldn't be compared with anything else I had ever experienced. On top of that, every time I took my socks off, there was that foul smell of dead skin that made everyone in my family avoid me like I was some sort of disgusting skunk. I started becoming virtually addicted to painkillers. I would take as many of them as I needed in the morning to make the pain and swelling fade slightly away so I could put on my shoes and go to work. But eventually, those became as useless as simple candy. Topical creams and sprays like clotrimazole or fluconazole were, at that point, no more effective than tap water. As I paid yet another visit to the doctor, he gave me a medication scheme so complicated that I had to read it 10 times only to remember what pills to take on the first day. 5% Lamisil spray used from 2 to 5 times per day for 14 days. 3 different creams to apply, once at every 4 hours during the day. 2 Lamisil pills per day for 12 weeks. And laser sessions once per week for the next 6 months. The total cost of all these drugs and procedures would sum up to somewhere around $2,800. That was a huge part of my money I had saved for a gift for my son's big wedding, and it pained my heart knowing that it would be gone in the blink of an eye. But it was overwhelmed by the strong smell of flesh burning, coming from my painful feet while that hellish laser ripped through my skin and cracked my toenails. But as you can already imagine, nothing, but absolutely nothing, helped. The doctor said that the yeast infection between my toes had infiltrated under my skin and nails, so we wouldn't be able to kill them with any topical treatment. The only solution to stop the infection was, as you've probably imagined, nail removal surgery. And even then, they didn't really know if the fungus would come back. So what you're telling me is that I have to undergo a torturous, painful, and incredibly expensive surgery for removing all my toenails, and this is not even 100% guaranteed to work? I bursted at my doctor. If you ever suffered from foot fungus, you know how it makes you feel. With every step I took, there was a deep, sore feeling that traveled through my body. Sometimes it felt like it was not my feet that hurt, but my entire legs, from the hips to the last inch of my big toe. I soon gave up all the activities I love and became more sedentary than I ever was. I was reduced to nothing but a shadow of my joyous, energetic self. I fell into a serious depression, and I could no longer work with the same passion. When I came back home, my wife would not even want to lay on the couch with me due to the nasty fungus. I was at a very low point in my life, and unfortunately, that was only the beginning. One day, it all escalated to the point where I almost died of that fungal infection. Everything had started so slowly. I had no idea how life-changing that day was going to be for me. It started as nothing more than an ordinary day, or at least ordinary like the last few weeks had been for me. I woke up really tired and dizzy that morning. I figured it was just exhaustion from work, but was I wrong or not? The day turned out to be a disaster for me. I couldn't focus at work at all. Every time someone would speak to me, I would hear their voices echoing through my head. When I arrived home, my wife could see me all sweaty and my head was burning with fever. I thought it was some sort of flu, that I had caught a virus of some sort, but it was so much worse. So bad that when I tried to get up from the kitchen chair, I collapsed on the floor and woke up tied to a hospital bed, surrounded by my wife and children. As it turned out, my fungal infection was far from being a superficial cosmetic issue. Apparently, it had already spread throughout my system, causing a sudden toxic fungus outbreak that was that close to spreading into my brain and killing me. I could have died, and I wouldn't have even known why. But the bad news kept on coming. The doctors told my family that I was on a death clock, as the internal fungus buildup was rapidly spreading through my body. At first, it seemed like science fiction. I mean, was it an internal fungus buildup? But then my test results came, and they showed me using a polarized light microscope, a sample of my blood and a sample of normal blood. When I saw the difference, I was horrified. My blood was practically overrun by toxic fungus. The doctor said that if things don't improve over the next 4 weeks, they'll have no choice but to amputate my leg to save my body and my life. I don't think there were enough words to describe what I felt at that very moment. I was devastated, lost, and most of all, angry. Everything had been just fine with my health before I moved here to the big city. This nasty parasite not only took my dignity and made my dear ones avoid me, but now it was going to leave me a disabled person for life. I went home with 2 bags full of drugs and a very heavy heart. The next few days were a nightmare, but then something incredible happened. A precious blessing that I was fortunate enough to receive. So stay with me for a few more minutes because I'm soon going to unveil how I stumbled upon the actual solution that helped me escape this fungus nightmare, saved my leg, and saved my life as well. One day, one of my oldest friends, Dr. Larson, came to my house. Dr. Larson is one of the most brilliant biochemists I have ever met. He has dual PhDs in both molecular biology and organic chemistry. At the local university, he was regarded as one of the most incredible minds of his generation. Instead of trying to cheer me up the classical way, and being the funny character that he always is, he decided to tell me about his latest research project that took place in a small African village. He showed me a picture with him and some of the villagers that he met in the area, and I couldn't help but notice their strong, clear nails and how these people who had never worn shoes in their entire lives had amazingly healthy skin on their feet with no trace of fungus. I admit that made me wonder. On one hand, I was in danger of losing my foot under the constant threat of an insidious parasite I didn't even understand completely. Everyone I knew was repulsed by me, and every single dollar that I spent on doctors and drugs just made me poorer, not healthier. On the other hand, there were these African natives who had absolutely no trace of fungus into their system, even after a life lived in humid and rather unhealthy places with years of surviving, hunting, and gathering in muddy soil without wearing shoes, or even without what we Westerners would call correct hygiene. Needless to say, I was frustrated. But I had to do something about it, or at least find some answers. Thus, I decided it was time to invest all of my free time researching this lead. There was one question that was boggling my mind. How can decades and decades of medical advancements amount to almost nothing when it comes to actually treating the spread of this nasty fungus? And more importantly, how can these African tribes be immune to fungus poisoning even without our modern medical technology? Most of the time, I would go to the local university's library, turning every page, searching and skimming through every book that I could find on this subject. I also did a lot of online research, since I had access to a plethora of exclusive scientific databases, thanks to my profession and courtesy of Dr. Larson as well. For a little over 2 weeks, I barely ate, slept, or even talked to my family. Every time I thought I found something, I ended up hitting a dead end. It felt frustrating, like every bit of effort I was putting into this was pointless. And I was ready to give up until I found the controversial article that confirmed my previous theory. Here's what it said. Recent research discovered that the majority of the food we consume these days is saturated with a series of toxic, poisonous, incredibly harmful ingredients that are damaging not only to our stomach, but our immune system as well. As much as you might try to protect yourself from dangerous chemicals, modern life makes it impossible for you to be safe. Chemical compounds that occur naturally, such as metals or nitrates, are always present in the soil the food is grown in, the water, and even in the air that we breathe. According to the European Food Safety Authority, as well as to a study conducted by a top team of scientists from the National Center for Biotechnology Information, elements such as aflatoxins and acrylamide, which are environmental pollutants, are affecting more than a quarter of the crops and end up in our foods. And that doesn't even begin to show how much of our soil is infested with them. On the other hand, the air we breathe is no less polluted than the soil. Study after study, including a recent one published by the amazing scientists from United States Environmental Protection Agency, US EPA, shows that increasing doses of heavy metals can lead to weakened functions and even organ failure. But that wasn't all. Contaminated soil and air was only a part of the problem. There was one more thing that caught my eye. Something almost nobody talks about, yet it was the missing piece in understanding the root cause of my fungus poisoning. A hidden chemical called mycotoxin. Mycotoxins are toxic secondary metabolites produced by certain filamentous fungi, molds, which can be found in almost every modern food, ranging from sauces and meats to cereals, soybeans, fish products, or even ice cream. Countless studies show that consumption of mycotoxin-contaminated food can cause acute or chronic toxicity in both humans and animals. And it's not only about what is found in our foods, but what is found on them as well. Research conducted by the brilliant scientists from the Environmental Health Journal shows that food packaging is another major contributor to chemical pollution in our daily diets. And what is even more revolting is that even though we know that a lot of them are hazardous substances, we have absolutely no information about so many others and how they can affect our bodies. It's outrageous. However you look at it, there is no way to escape these poisons. You have to make a seemingly impossible choice. You either eat and breathe to keep yourself alive, and you will end up with poisonous fungus infesting your system, or choose to save your health while sacrificing your very life. Not much of a choice, is it? However, I did not stop there. I had to know more about this, so I read each and every medical book that I could get my hands on, searching for more detailed information. I somehow got my hands on an old Stanford PhD thesis, which pretty much helped me connect the dots between fungus and pollution. Here's how it works. Typically, your body tries to get rid of these types of toxins, especially heavy metals. Whatever it can't get rid of, it is forced to store in your tissues. It buries it, pretty much. With that being said, you need to know that the only way of testing for heavy metals is a hair analysis. Scientists always do a hair analysis because if somebody is coming up positive for mold, then one of the most interesting things they found is that heavy metals and the fungus or mold bind to each other. Typically, they bind to each other and they live within the bile of the liver and gallbladder. Think of it this way, mycotoxins, which are practically tiny particles of toxic fungus from your food, enter your system where they find heavy metals, an excellent environment for them, and ultimately end up growing and taking over your entire body. It's a never-ending vicious cycle. However, as much as we would want this to not be true, sadly our autoimmune system is defenseless when confronted by the powerful toxins that our food, soil, and air have been poisoned with. And even though we hate to admit it, none of the state-of-the-art medical solutions or phony experts can solve this problem. Why? The answer is simple. They don't address the root cause. Because getting rid of just heavy metals or just fungus inside your system is impossible, and the only way to actually heal your body is to address both at the same time. That will allow you to release the mold that's been plaguing your life, as well as purging your body of the heavy metals and really decreasing that toxic burden you've been carrying for God knows how long. Now, here's something I can share with you from my own experience, and I think this little piece of information is going to save you a lot of time and money. Picture this. You go to the doctor and tell him you want to get rid of your nail fungus. He starts prescribing drugs. First of all, you are going to need Lamisil. The cost for Lamisil oral tablet 250 milligram is around $304 for a supply of 14 tablets. And there are no valid insurance plans that cover this cost. That's a whopping $912 for 6 weeks of treatment, and that's the minimum period you have to take it, depending on how bad the damage is. But you have absolutely no guarantee that they're going to work. Plus, the results are only temporary. They are not going to stop the toxic chemicals from building up again. A shocking statistic shows even if treatment is successful, in 69% of cases, nail fungus comes back after the first 18 months. Then you go to another doctor to help you with your already destroyed nails, and he tells you the only way to treat your fungus is with laser sessions. Worst case scenario, $1,200 for a full procedure. And the procedure is considered cosmetic, and of course is not covered by any health insurance. Third intervention would be toenail removal surgery, which besides the fact that it's extremely painful and has a long recovery time, up to 18 months for the nail to regrow fully, will also cost you the exorbitant sum of $800. And for what? It is not even permanent, and there is no assurance whatsoever that the new nail will stay fungus-free for long. Finally, topical sprays and creams. Now, this may look like the most convenient solution. That's because, in fact, it is not a solution at all. Even doctors admit that the success rate is so low that it isn't even worth trying it without one of the options I already mentioned above. And not only can they be unsuccessful, it's even almost as pricey as surgery or laser if you consider all the formulas and big pharma brands on the market that you'll have to try before you find one that at least eases your itching for the moment. So are you willing to go through this ordeal knowing that at the end of the day, those solutions only address the cosmetic matter of your problem, while the fungus buildups would still rot your body on the inside? So let's put this into perspective. No matter how much you want to protect yourself, the siege on your immune system begins at the moment you take your first bite of food or take the first breath of air. Like a snake that eats its own tail, your body is trapped in an endless cycle. It's either you starve to death or you pay the price, your toenails or even your leg. And we both know what your body will choose. You can survive without a leg. When I thought about all this, it felt like I was stranded on a deserted island. I knew everything I needed to know about the root cause of my issues, but I had absolutely no idea what to do about it. At the very least, now I could tell Dr. Larson why those Kenyan tribes are miles ahead of me when it comes to the health of their skin and nails. I didn't even imagine that telling him this would end up being one of the most amazing ideas I ever had. Well, Mark, I thought you had foot fungus, not that you were blind. How can you not see it when it's right under your nose? Dr. Larson said to me, smiling. He saw right through the problem. According to him, all that we had to do was to combine both traditional, natural, and modern ingredients in order to find the perfect solution that could neutralize both the mycotoxins and heavy metals buildups hiding in my tissues. To put it simply, we needed to come up with a healing mixture that would support the immune system in the detoxifying process. We would have to start with the 100% natural ingredients that the Africans used in their diets, find their main compounds, and obtain them from the most natural, untampered plants and herbs. Then we would have to combine them with modern, risk-free substances that were known to combat chemicals and toxins. Finally, we would need to mix this all together to create a formula that was outstandingly bioabsorbable. That way it would act very quickly, stopping the spread of chemicals and toxins inside your system. It would be completely painless, causing no stress to your already affected skin and nails. The only way we could achieve this without having to eat 12 different ingredients daily was by making the recipe in the form of a capsule. Now, considering that all of the substances are going to be absorbed in your blood, it makes perfect sense that you would want only the nutritious elements in your food to get inside your body. That's why this formula not only makes sure that only the best nutrients are absorbed into your bloodstream, so you can also eliminate the already existent toxins, but also strengthens your body against future poisoning. Since it was clear that we were unstoppable together, Dr. Larson and I decided to work as a team. With our chemistry knowledge combined, we would be able to come up with the perfect list of ingredients and quantities to use for this incredible formula. We worked for days, even weeks, testing every possible ingredient, quantity, and noted the effects they had on my body. After more sleepless nights than I could count, we finally made it. We created the most powerful, 100% natural, risk-free, active, and detoxifying supplement. Now, I'm sure you're asking yourself, what does it contain that makes it that powerful, and how is it going to work for me? Well, let's take it step by step and see why this amazing solution will rapidly restore your pink toenails, healthy skin, and overall organism. Before we dive into this, we have to take a look at the 4 ingredients that are the pillars on which will help you eliminate fungus fast: Plantago ovata and L. acidophilus. Firstly, Plantago ovata, more commonly known as psyllium husk, is the main ingredient that the Kenyan tribes use in their sacred rituals. And no wonder they do. This amazing psyllium husk fiber has been shown to block the reabsorption of heavy metals back into the body once secreted into the gut via the liver and gallbladder following a meal. Moreover, it is scientifically proven to have a wide range of uses, and while it has analgesic properties that calm pain and itching, it is also a formidable antioxidant and antimicrobial substance. Once heavy metals are eliminated from your system, it's time for some action from the second power ingredient, L. acidophilus. Now, you may have heard about probiotics in the past and learned about their highly beneficial properties over your digestive system, but that's not the main reason we added it to our recovery plan. Because what only few know is that in a recent 2020 study published in the National Library of Medicine showed that taken in the right combination, L. acidophilus has a strong protective effect against harmful mycotoxins from food. This powerful but small bacteria not only fights and neutralizes the mycotoxins damage that has already been done to your body, but has been proven to block aflatoxin B1, AFB1, ochratoxin A, OTA, zearalenone, ZEA, and deoxynivalenol, DON, as soon as they enter your body. In other words, L. acidophilus acts like a 2-in-1 power tool that has a double action which will assure both regeneration and prevention against future mycotoxin attacks. Once psyllium and L. acidophilus are absorbed by your body, they practically act like a fireman's pressure hose, flushing away all the fungus from your veins, walls, organs, and all the fungus buildup from your tissues will be gone in no time. Your organs, arteries, skin, and nails are now clear of fungus, and blood will once again flow normally through your body, immediately draining out the fungus swamp and cleaning up the outbreaks that are visible on the outside. Amazing, right? But you haven't heard all of it yet. Because there comes the antifungal defense army: glucomannan root, black walnut, and bentonite clay. Glucomannan root is widely renowned for its wonderful properties, which include reducing cholesterol levels, regulating sugar levels for people with type 2 diabetes, and even improving some heart disease risk factors. But again, the real reason we added it into our formula is what only a few people know, that it has a huge power of fungus inhibition, which is only activated by the presence of L. acidophilus. This will clean up your blood and inhibit the growth of fungi, yeast, and mold, while also making it more oxygenated, ready to be pumped up to the engine of your body, the heart. After your blood has been purified, the last stage of your body's rejuvenation is when skin and nails start to rebuild themselves naturally from within. That's when miracles start to happen. The natural black walnut and bentonite clay extracts will target your hands and feet, immediately draining out the fungus swamp and cleaning up the outbreaks that are visible on the outside, thus beginning to fortify the fungus-affected yellow nails or brittle skin. Ancient wise Japanese doctors thought that black walnut is capable of conferring a person's longevity or even immortality. And this, together with the bentonite clay extracts, will act like a force field for the health of your nails. And this, together with the bentonite clay extracts, will act like a force field for the health of your nails. And the list goes on with 7 more fungus-destroying and skin rejuvenation plants, herbs, and minerals which are meant to do one thing. As you imagine, I wanted to be the very first person to try this formula. It couldn't have been easier. I swallowed the small capsule with a good amount of water in a few seconds. Zero pain, zero displeasure when it comes to taste. Now, I must admit, in the first days, I didn't notice any results. I hate to admit it, but I was starting to get discouraged. Luckily, Dr. Larson was there to cheer me up and keep me going. "Let's at least get through the first week and see if something changes after that," he said to me patiently. Needless to say, he was right. Something did change after the first week. The thick, dark toenails somehow started to lighten up a bit. When I first noticed it, I couldn't believe my eyes. But still, I didn't let myself put too much hope into it. I mean, after all I've been through, I learned to always consider the worst case scenario. But after one more week, all the dark yellow nails from my feet almost completely regained their natural color and texture. For the first time since I moved to the big city, the foul-smelling dead skin that was constantly shedding off my heels and toes was practically gone. My feet were now looking healthy, and even my varicose veins completely disappeared. Seeing this unbelievable progress, we decided to look for more people to test our formula. We posted a listing, and about 45 people from the university Dr. Larson was teaching at agreed to be a part of our secret testing. They each had to fill out a form daily in order for us to properly be able to follow their progress. I knew that it would take more than 2 weeks for even the first reports to come in. However, never in my wildest dreams could I have imagined that even after a little while, every single one of them would report that their feet felt rejuvenated, and the fungus-infected toenails became healthier by the day. Dr. Larson himself was staggered by how quickly his own skin problems faded away. As for myself, I kept on testing the formula until one morning I woke up and there was no trace of fungal infection on my nails and feet. No more bad smell, itchy skin or blisters. Even my dandruff and scalp dermatitis were gone. Blood tests showed no trace of the nail and organ-damaging fungus in my system. It felt like my disease was just an old nightmare and my life became worth living again. My family no longer left the living room in disgust when I wanted to hug or sit next to them on the couch. Our friends started visiting again. As we went to collect the other people's reports, the results left us in complete shock. From all the people that took part in this test, none of them reported any signs of fungus on their nails, feet, or scalp. Plus 39 out of the 45 reported stronger stamina, more energy, smoother skin, and even saw a major improvement in their digestion. Now, having seen the results of this life-changing treatment, we knew we had to go public, especially considering the fact that all the people that took part in these tests kept coming back for more, whether it was for them or their loved ones. But if we did do it, we needed to make sure that as many people as possible would be able to get their hands on this, since this was nothing less than a miracle. Had we produced it ourselves, it would have taken us weeks, even months, and thousands of dollars only to be able to find and extract the purest, most refined ingredients from all around the globe. And even then, we would have only been able to create enough bottles for so many people, and that would only last them less than a week. We knew we needed to contact a manufacturing facility in the U.S., for which we would provide the ingredients, and they would be able to take care of the entire process. Now, before we moved on with this, I had only one request that was not up for discussion. If we did this right, with the highest quality ingredients. No compromises of any sorts. Only the best products were to go into this potent mixture. Sourced only from local growers who use no pesticides or herbicides whatsoever and let their plants mature naturally. Due to Dr. Larson's network, we managed to find a pristine FDA-approved and GMP-certified facility that made us jump with joy for 2 reasons. One, it had incredibly strict disinfection protocols, so any dangerous bacteria or germs were kept at bay. And 2, it was as discreet as it was large, so we could go forth with the process without worrying too much about Big Pharma hearing about our groundbreaking discovery. Our blend is 100% natural, and due to this, we didn't need any approval from government agencies in order to produce this formula. And so, we decided to call it Clavusin, the only 100% natural, non-GMO solution that fights the root cause of toenail fungus, athlete's foot, and any other diseases caused by fungi overgrowth that you might struggle with, the toxins and chemicals found in our everyday foods. Every capsule is 100% natural and manufactured right here in the USA. Clavusin does not contain any dangerous stimulants or toxins and will not get you addicted. Well, we can't promise you won't be addicted to its results, though. The magic of this product comes not only from the 13 natural, highest quality ingredients that are found in it, but also from the fact that getting rid of distorted nails, fungus spread, or feet decay will be a piece of cake, and all this with 0 downsides. This solution is guaranteed to have more effect than any other spray, powder, or cream on the market. Not only does it target and annihilate these poisonous substances found in your body or under your nails, but it also works wonders on strengthening your immune system and gives you the healthiest feet. As for side effects, the only side effect you are going to encounter are total toenail rejuvenation and a healthier, energized body. Plus, your pockets will now be filled with the money you would have otherwise spent on crazy medical interventions or useless antifungal treatments. But no need to take our words for granted. Just listen to what some of the 188,600 other people have to say about their experience with Clavusin. For example, Benjamin F., 53, from Denver, Colorado, told us, "My yellow, crumble, and ragged toenails are now just a bad memory that I laugh about with my friends. Ever since I started using Clavusin, my life has turned around. I can now enjoy the little things in life. My family is even happier because up until Clavusin, I had lost my will to live, but now everything we do ends up in joyous laughter." Or Marilyn K., 49, from Columbus, Ohio. "My husband used to sleep on the other side of the bed every night. He hadn't touched me for months. Moreover, the itching kept me up at night, and when I finally thought that painkillers would soothe my pain, they stopped working. But since this magic solution came into my life, our marriage has been saved. I no longer have trouble sleeping. I wake up energized, and all of that because I got rid of that nasty infected nail whatsoever. Plus, my husband loves touching and cuddling with me when we go to sleep. And I have to thank you for that." And David O., 66, from Seattle, Washington, says, "I never thought that escaping the fungus nightmare would be so easy. One pill of your solution a day, and in mere weeks, all of my problems were gone. My nails look stronger and rejuvenated, no more smell or pain, and most important of all, they gain their bright white color back. I am only able to smile and laugh with joy because of Clavusin and the amazing team behind it. Thank you, a million times thank you." Everything you have to do in order to be as healthy and happy as the people you just heard is to start using this amazing, bioabsorbable, easy-to-use solution immediately. It's more simple than you think, and in the next 2 minutes, I will show you how to get access to everything. After hearing all this, it should come as no surprise that Clavusin is superior to absolutely any other so-called solution to fixing fungal disease. Everything that is out there at the moment only works short-term, and they're either way too expensive or they don't address the root cause. However, Clavusin is totally different. Not only is it natural, non-GMO, and easy to use, but it is proven to be completely efficient when it comes to fighting the toxic substances that enter your body and multiply by the thousands every day. These are the same toxins that corrode your toenails and burn your skin, until the only thing left of them are some helpless, destroyed shadows of their past selves. Of course, going to the doctor is always a solution, but let me ask you something. Is being tortured by sharp blades that slash into your flesh and pull out your nails worth it? Especially knowing that you are going to pay a lot of money for some sadistic methods that are not 100% guaranteed to work? Thousands and thousands of dollars spent on countless snake oil products, at the end of which you will find yourself tired and frustrated and still getting that foul smell and debris building up under your nails? No antifungal cream or laser therapy are effective enough to fight the army of chemicals and toxins that march into your body each and every day, attacking and damaging your entire system. And if you're thinking of toenail elimination surgery, think again. You are just going to waste heaps of money and a couple of painful months of your precious time only to see that they were useless nonetheless. And even if you are part of a small percentage of people who will grow a new healthy toenail, remember, even doctors admit that the chances of fungal reinfection is over 90%. Nothing will be strong enough to defend you from that contagious fungus who spreads like mushrooms after a rain. Of course, nothing aside from Clavusin, the only supplement on the market that can fix your yellow nails, damaged skin, and itchy toes in the blink of an eye, while also keeping you safe from future infections. Before you say yes to the product that is guaranteed to change your life for the better, you should ask yourself, how much would I be willing to pay for full control over my life and health? $50,000? $10,000? $5,000? Now, despite the fact that Dr. Larson advised me to sell the 30-day supply of Clavusin at $897, factoring in the time we spent researching this product and the tests that we have run, my own wife suggested the price of $597 after seeing how changed of a person I am now. And not to mention our suppliers mentioned the price of $397, just for how high quality the ingredients are. The thousands of people that tried this product even said that they would pay triple its price due to how amazing the results were. But neither myself nor Dr. Larson are in this for the money. I am never going to forget how I felt knowing that something as simple as a toenail fungus could ruin my whole life and could leave me with one leg. How my own family were turning their heads away in disgust, not even daring to look in my direction if I got close to them. Those blisters, those rotten nails, and not to mention my horrible smelling feet. Not to mention I was always at risk of joint disease or infections. I never wish for anyone to go through the same painful moments as I did. This is why asking for insane sums of money was out of the question. I just want to cover the cost of the ingredients and keep this site up and running for as long as possible. Sadly, in order to do that, I may have to charge $97 for one bottle of this formula soon. One bottle is surely not as expensive as a single visit to the doctor, but it's guaranteed to solve your problems more easily and less painfully. Plus, you don't run the risk of dangerous side effects since Clavusin is all natural, 100% non-invasive, and risk-free. Now, while this site remains up and running, which may not be a long time, considering that Big Pharma would give anything to shut down this efficient and cheap solution, you can now get your 30-day supply of Clavusin for a one-time, 100% risk-free investment of no more than $69. Yes, you heard this right. Only $69 for this effective, simple, and yet incredibly potent method of healing your toenails. Now, there's something else you should know. If you order the 3 or 6 month packages, you get an even bigger discount. And there is a very good reason behind it. Both Dr. Larson and I experienced the effects of Clavusin firsthand, as well as the other 45 initial brave volunteers. Not to mention the 188,600 people that have already used Clavusin that now have stronger, healthy pink nails and no longer experience skin rashes, irritation, itching, swelling, and scaly feet. This is why we recommended using this incredible mixture for 90 days, just to make sure that you are 100% shielded from the dangerous, life-threatening fungus that made his way into your body for so long. It is impossible for us to estimate how many chemicals and dangerous toxins you may have in your system right now, especially if it has already infected your toenails. This depends on your diet, the place you live in, and many other factors. This is why, after seeing the positive results of more than 188,600 people, we recommend you take 3 bottles at the very least, so you can see the amazing results of Clavusin. Especially since it will probably take a little over 75 days to make sure that your entire system is wiped clean of any traces of fungus, toxins, and heavy metals. 3 bottles of this amazing formula are going to shield your whole system and help your body eradicate any dangerous fungus that is going to come close to your skin and nails, while also strengthening your immune system and nourishing your organs. The 6-bottle package of Clavusin is going to work wonders in your system. Not only your whole body will be protected against fungus, you'll also shield yourself from digestive and brain disease. Your focus will improve, your energy will skyrocket, and your memory will be like it was in your younger years. Plus, there's one more crucial aspect that you should know about. Missing just one single day of Clavusin is going to put at risk your entire progress, so please be careful. You don't want to have to start all over again. After a while, when you wake up every morning and look at your feet, you will see this: strong, protected, and pink toenails, and a skin so soft and nourished, your spouse will crave your touch under the sheets. And that will make you feel more empowered and confident like you have never felt in your entire life. That is, only if you decide to use Clavusin without hitting the pause button on this process. Because if you do, it might take you weeks or even months to get its engines running again at full capacity. My advice: don't risk running out of Clavusin. It's just not worth ruining your health again, just because you missed one single day. Also, you should know that Clavusin sells very fast. And once it's sold out, it's going to take us up to 9 whole months to get another batch ready, since we're only looking for the best ingredients. We are still going to support you however we can, though. That is why we're letting you order the 3 and 6 bottle packages at a huge discount. Another thing that you should know is that Clavusin is not available anywhere in stores or supermarkets. This site is the only way you can secure your stock at the cheapest possible price. On top of that, once you decide to order today, you will be spared the shipping costs. Look below this video and select your package now. You will then be redirected to a 100% secure checkout page. For your convenience and safety, we are using a payment software that is used by the top bank systems too, which means all your data is 100% protected. You can choose to pay via credit, debit card, or even PayPal. After you fill in your information and confirm your order, your shipment is going to arrive discreetly, swiftly, and for free at your doorstep. And again, if you order the 3 or 6 bottle package, you will receive a huge discount. Hurry, because we're probably going to run out of stock very, very soon. Remember, your order today is a simple one-time payment with no hidden fees or subscriptions and is guaranteed to change your life completely. Clavusin is only available for purchase on this site and this site only, so this is your one-time chance to get your hands on it. Also, one more time, missing just one day of Clavusin can compromise your entire progress, so once you buy it, you wouldn't want to run out of it. Look, the antifungal market is estimated to reach the staggering value of $18 billion by the end of the year 2022, thanks to millions of honest people who have been cluelessly buying their life-threatening treatments and paying for their expensive interventions. No wonder big pharmaceutical conglomerates are hunting down every alternative solution on the market that can possibly help you with your fungus problem. They're putting a lot of effort into ensuring that you will continue using their overpriced, useless products. I get threats from these filthy rich conglomerates on a daily basis. After all this hard work and pain, risking your family's safety isn't something that you can allow to happen for a long time. You should know what I'm talking about. So I urge you to choose Clavusin today, while you still can, while I can still keep this site live in spite of Big Pharma's pushback. Save your health, and even more, your happiness and peace of mind. I understand if you're feeling skeptical right now. You must have tried a lot of methods, but to no avail. None of them seem to work. Plus, you probably spent more money than you can even count on interventions and treatments. But all of that ends here on this page, because I am so confident that Clavusin will work that I am going to offer you our risk-free 60-day money-back guarantee. If after using this solution you don't see any improvement in the health of your feet, or if you're simply not happy enough with the results, we'll offer you a full refund, no questions asked. Just contact us within 60 days after your purchase, and you will get all your money back. It doesn't matter if you use the whole bottle. I will personally see that you get every single penny back. After all, you have 2 whole months to decide if Clavusin is good enough for you. No hidden fees whatsoever. A simple, secure, and 100% risk-free investment. All you have to do is choose the offer that you think would suit you best from below. You're now at a crossroads, wondering which path you should take. The first path would mean to stop watching this video and leave this page. You do nothing and keep going just the way you are now for who knows how long. But what's plaguing your body won't stay the same. Your toenails will continue to grow thicker or thinner. The itch is going to get even worse, and the pain will start becoming so unbearable that you will reach a point where you would rather die than feel it again. Your life is always going to be at risk, with dangerous infections and possibly amputation knocking at your door, ready to threaten your life at any moment. Trust me, I've been there. Now, the second path is completely different, and quite honestly, this is the only one that actually makes sense for you. Get this product right now, and you will be stunned by how easy it is to be happy and healthy again. No more rotten nails, red itchy feet, or anything like that. Click the button below, choose your preferred package, enter your payment details, and place the order right now. We will ship the bottles straight away, right to your doorstep. No shipping charges, no hidden fees, nothing. It's absolutely guaranteed to change your life. I can't wait for you to become one of the over 188,000 success stories of Clavusin. Still here? Amazing. That means I have a little more time to answer some common questions I receive about Clavusin. Everything about this is to make sure you are fully comfortable and satisfied with the decision to order our supplement today. 1. Can you tell me how this works again? It works like this. Modern science has come to the conclusion that all the food that we eat nowadays is infested with harmful, toxic mycotoxins that put our bodies and health at risk every single day. Moreover, studies show that heavy metals concentration in the air, soil, and water pass the maximum barrier from which is considered harmful and a threat for human health. These substances bind to each other and start to corrode your veins, arteries, and internal organs, and also attack your skin and toenails and give them that rotten yellow appearance. Fortunately, Clavusin has been designed with one purpose in mind: clearing your toenails, skin, and system of dangerous substances, while providing your body with the nutrients it needs to act swiftly and effectively against fungus infection. 2. Is Clavusin safe to use? Clavusin has been created for all ages and medical conditions, and it addresses the root cause of toenail fungus, skin rashes, itching, redness, and pain. The dangerous mycotoxins that come riding in on our modern food are currently poisoning your feet, nails, and skin as we speak. The most important thing you can do today in order to ensure best health is to start using Clavusin. It has all the high-quality natural ingredients that your skin and body needs. Plus, it is manufactured in a highly sterile, FDA-approved, and GMP-certified facility. Every ingredient that went into this incredible formula has been tested for purity, and their qualities have been ensured by certified scientists. However, if you do have a medical condition or are currently taking other prescription medication, we strongly advise you to show a bottle of this formula to your doctor prior to taking it, just to make sure everything is in order. 3. How do I take Clavusin? Take 2 capsules each day with a big glass of water, after lunch or dinner. This should be enough to activate all the amazing substances in our product. You should do this process daily, either in the morning or in the evening, in order for you to properly clear your body, feet, and toenails. 4. What if it doesn't work for me? Can I know more about the 60-day guarantee? Looking at the amazing results of this formula, we strongly believe that Clavusin holds the power to cleanse your system to its core and remove any trace of fungus. Now, we know that not everything works for 100% of the people trying it, since everyone's system responds differently. This is why we set this ironclad guarantee. If for any reason you are dissatisfied with the results of our product, within 60 days, simply return what you have not used for a full refund. No questions asked, no hidden fees, simple as that. 5. How long will Clavusin be available for? This is a very tricky question, but I'm glad it's here. There are a lot of cases in which the pharma industry showed us that it's not afraid to spend millions of dollars in order to remove something so revolutionary and groundbreaking from the market. After all, wouldn't you spend all this money in order to save an $18 billion industry? So all you have to do to be sure is to click the link below today. Fill in your details, submit your order, and become one of our most successful stories today.